but baking soda, the crack is kind of like freebase when you smoke it. See, remember, just think, when you snort cocaine, you got about a 1-inch square area up there, right? Where you know, and whatever absorbs in your nose, that's it. Well, when you smoke it, your lungs, that's 32 something kind of feet. Your lungs. Okay, and you didn't change your form. And the hit from snorting cocaine is different. It's a pleasant, that's no big deal. But boy, when you get a hit, bam, of smoking it, oh my goodness. I never did that. I was lucky. When I went to prison and I came out, and all of my friends that was big was broke. I said, what's happening? I said, man, this base, free base. That's when Red Fox, Richard Pryor, all of them, Hollywood was going, what's her name that used to sing? Natalie Cole and all of them. They was all, man, that free base hit California. I remember, free base and stuff hit California first. Shoot, that was 75. By the time the crack babies started coming out all over the rest of it was 85. So, let me explain. Without talking about how the stuff works, they wanted to stop the movement in the 60s and early 70s. They did it. Bam. Heroin stopped it. Stopped it cold. Because you can't be doing movement and running around, breaking in houses and all of that, right? It destroyed the black community. Okay, black community had a little rest now. So in 85, the people that had got big rich off those other drugs, they got rich. Oh, I'm telling you. The 70s was one type of rich. At the end of the 70s, going into the early 80s, it was a bigger rich, So the government, like they come up with heroin to kill the movement, they said, we got to find a way now to get that money back from them niggas. And they did. The same thing that we used to use to test cocaine down in the, remember I was telling you about put the ether in there and the water and put the cocaine in there. If you put 1 gram and you heat it up and you fizz and you drop it out and you weigh everything above the oily line. Below the line is garbage, it ain't nothing. But above the line, that's cocaine. You're just changing the form where you can smoke it. If you weigh it and you get 10 tenths like you put in, it's 100% pure. If you get 5 points, it's half cocaine and half whatever else they put in it, right? If you get 4 points, that means it's 40% pure. So you could tell. That's how we tested cocaine down in Colombia. The purity of it. When I went to prison and came out, I'm asking people what this is, how you do it, and they showed me. I said, that's the way we tested cocaine like that. And then we threw the stuff, the little old stuff, we throw it out because it ain't nothing but 1 gram, And they were smoking it. One of my friends, he was big in cocaine in LA. That pipe had him so bad, when I'd ask everybody how he doing, like if he had 25 keys and he sold them to all the different people, 25 kilos, okay. After he done sold all them keys, he was so heavy on that pipe, he would go and back around to his customers with house shoes on and a night coat, hair frizzly. I don't know if you ever saw that experiment of the rat that could push your lever and get a little cocaine, and he push it till he die. You don't eat, he don't do nothing. That's the way the brothers are on that pipe. Our masjid in Oakland, the guy next door loved that pipe. And I would go and every few days I'd go in the back of our masjid and pick up pipes. You know why? Every time he get up in the morning or whenever he get up, he I'm quitting. So he throw the pipes over on the side of the thing. And that means he was quitting every night. It was ruining his life, ruining his business, ruining everything. But in the meantime, if you had $5,000 worth of cocaine and you was freebasing it, you'd use it all up. Yeah, and that ain't nothing in one setting. Shoot, you can smoke that up. Because that first hit you get, you always trying to get that. That's such a boom. You never get it again, but you using all the rest that you're using up is trying to get back to that first one. You don't get there. It's more addictive than heroin. It's more deadly. When they talk about crack babies and all that, some of the little stuff they lying, but a lot of it is true. Crack is the worst thing that ever hit. Crack and crystal meth, crank. Now, can you imagine? Crank is boy, look at here, it's deadly. I mean, it speeds you up, and that's why they call it crank, and you rolling. And to me, when I used to have a little crank sometime, the people would come early in the morning, grinding their teeth, eyes as big as saucers, right in the side of their mouth. And they would lie to me so bad. At first I would be mad. I said, niggas think I'm crazy, So sometime I'd go look in the mirror. I said, boy, you must look like a fool to them, because they would be lying. So I changed my approach. I know they was lying, and if they told me a real hilarious lie, remember at that time I didn't go to movies too much and stuff. So if them niggas was entertaining enough, man, the stuff you gave me before I got home, a buzzard flew down and snatched it up out of the back seat. Then he flew over there. Then he dropped it. They tell you stuff like that, and it's just ridiculous. So I say, hey man, here you go. Here, have some more. If the lie was entertaining enough, I know that sounds cruel, but I had to do something to protect my psychological self, because they would be lying so bad, you would be thinking, man, you think I'm stupid. And then that's why in crank and stuff like that, so many people get killed. Because the stuff that people be doing, they be what we used to call tweaking and tripping and all that stuff. Hey, man. So anyway, I'll skip all that. In my time, they dropped heroin and all the other stuff. They dropped crank on white kids and crystal meth on white kids and LSD. And they destroyed the white folks. For the Negroes, they gave them, started them off with marijuana and ended them up with heroin. They gave each group, they know what they're doing now. Remember, they didn't study this. We didn't have the Opium War in 1840. They know what all these drugs do. In the early 60s, they had experiments on LSD. And white folks kind of liked them. You see those pictures in the 60s, people got orange and red, different color buses and all that long. That's what you be seeing all them colors. That's what you be.
I didn't know that was Hollywood or real. Okay.
No, that was normal. That was real. Hey, look, that stuff was real. They used to have something called electric Kool-Aid acid test. No, that they had the first crew. That was a hilarious time. Hey, man, it was hilarious. But that first period, it wasn't like killing, not that much killing. People would see y'all take an acid trip and they might jump out of a window or something and kill themselves, but they wouldn't go get a gun and kill everybody in the house, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, which started happening later. But they studied everybody and which drug they destroy their own children. In 66, I was telling y'all, we might have heard that song, if you go to San Francisco, be sure to wear flowers in your hair. That they would have loved children. They was like that acid made them feel kind of like ecstasy or something. Plus that other old stuff. They was nice kids. I think I might have showed y'all some pictures. They was just nice. They didn't want to, that's what they was called. In Germany, they call them Blumenkinder. Over here, they call them flower children. They really just wanted to make love, not war, and they be smiling all that. Just what's the matter with these crackers? You know, but they really was like that. I'm talking about 66, 67, 68, they start changing. By the time that crack and all that stuff, and them mixing up all kind of stuff in the acid, hey man, it took a turn. It took a bad turn. What I'm saying is the government of the United States is such a criminal organization that they would kill their own children than to see them try to stop the war, all that stuff. Hey, that's how mean the system is. The system is, hey man, it's serious. It is that mean. If you know if they do that to their own children, what they'll do to me and you, and they don't consider us human. That's the thing the drug trade has done. And it had different phases. During my era, when I go around and look at all the people that was involved, I would say, well, I know I'm happier and healthier than anybody that went out of the friends that I have left. Some of them have jobs, they work for the government, running halfway houses or something. Just like these brothers from the 80s, that was big, they was making millions. See, the money we was making was big money. But in Oakland, I made $10,000 a day. I remember I was sad when I made $5,000 one day. I was just sad. I was sad. That's 69 though, you know. And the amount of drugs that we had, you have to think about it. The amount of drugs that these Negroes was having in the 1980s and 90s is unbelievable. And in New York and other places, the money they was making, everybody was knocking over $100,000 a day, $1 million a day. $1 million, yes, of course, $1 million a day. The weight and the poundage the kilos that they was moving, probably it was more when I was getting ready to finish up what I was doing. When I quit, I had went through, I would send some up here and then get money down there and then do whatever I was gonna do. I did a shipment every 3 months. It was nice. I just rested and relaxed for a couple of months, and after 2 months of rest, I would because you sending it up and getting it sold, and then you getting the money back as time go on, and then you do whatever, but you rolling. It's not, it was, if I had to have a job that was legal, that would